Welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United.
Remember the comment, Nick?
I got from bars to these.
Run Ryan.
And everything. You have players out there.
I think the fellas will take it more serious.
What grade?
That one at the go.
Yes, because at the end of the day, right now, Manchester United are
Welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United. JP, what are we saying, bro?
Very cool.
Nice. I guess the rest of the fellas go jump in as the show progresses. But we here and we'll get started. We're talking about a very disappointing 5 minutes in the second half. You know, some really poor goals to concede. And it happened so fast now, buddy. You know, to think that 5 minutes was all it took to put us on the back foot, and we was in a pretty, how to play it, but I think we was in a pretty commanding-ish kind of position now, but where if we did manage the game properly, we could have seen it out. But thanks to that beauty from Amara at the end of the game, but we were able to leave with something. And if there's one thing I think today was further evidence that we can't be saying that we should be beating any team. You understand? Them fellas still far away from any kind of guaranteed wins going into any game to guarantee that we go win. You know what I'm saying? Because we find ourselves in situations where we feeling positive, we feeling upbeat, but then you're having results like these. Now all is not doom and gloom, and I guess we will get into it as we go along. So JP, Nico, Kristen, really seeing fellas, how we doing?
Yeah, good night, JP. Long time, man. Well, I guess I see that a little differently. I doesn't have no kind of expectations. One win, two wins don't change it hasn't changed my feeling in terms of the next game could be a total mess, right? So when things start to happen, I'd be like, all right, cool, and right, let me see if we can pull back a draw here, let me see if we can pull back a win. And we was watching the game Rim, and I say that one, and you know what I said, one goal is not enough. One goal is not enough, and that team was very spirited today, right? And then we know the frailties we have within our team. As much as we have improved a little, I think the issues, still there, and still to be rectified. So yes, we have 1-3 on the bounce, not all convincing. So I would have said, well, City could, Forest today could have beaten us. I would not have been surprised. But lo and behold, I guess we should have a bit of character to come back with a draw, which again, will fuel a bit of confidence. If not only in the fans, but I guess in the players as well. Knowing that all right, we went two down, or at least one down after being up, and coming back with a draw. I think it wouldn't be all out of a better taste for the players. Yeah.
JP, what are you saying?
I already still not good. I still same as Nick in a sense. I not going in any game with expectation because we win the 3 on the bounce, but I still seeing things there that need sorting out. And today I think that 5 minutes you talk about Ream, that 5 minutes was Sean Dyche see what was happening in the first half and went in and tell his team attack United left side. That is where they're the weakest.
Yeah.
And we will get some joy out of them. And so said, so done, So I think our manager not being proactive continues to be a problem. And it's something I'm sure we will talk more about. we get a point. Yes, we get a point, but I feel like I didn't see the same kind of. We started off the game real good, but something in between just fell off, and it had a lot of bad passing, and Sheshko was just a passenger in the game today for most of the second half, if not all of it. He did some good things early on, but it just had a lot to me today that just didn't. It just wasn't going right today for a lot of the players and for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah, yeah. Kristen, we're saying initial opening thoughts.
No, I thought coming to this game and seeing the form Forest in and the position, it was an easy 3 points. But I mean, seeing the Prem too, it's the Prem are real sticky this season in terms of competition because we draw that game today from winning, and second we went straight to 8 or something when the game went draw. That's how close it is in the Prem. But that 5 minutes was crazy. But from watching United for the past 3 years, we might get more when that second goal score. But I think we didn't give in. We still gained back possession, and we could have won it because Bruno hit the post, and then Ahmad, this man, make our next goal. Because last time when we lost against them, he make a clearance from Maguire off the line in the last minute. And today he make a next goal. So we could have won it in the end, but sometimes that's how the game is played. But we dropped 2 points. And the fixtures we have coming up is real good run of fixtures too.
Say that again. That's not. Say that again.
The fixtures we have coming up, we have it's supposed to be a good run of fixtures.
For who? For Manchester United or for Manchester City?
Manchester United.
Nah.
No, I said it.
Nah.
No, I'm saying, Kristen, you sit down and see we capitulate against one of the worst teams in the league.
Hey.
And you
No,
telling
but
me we have a good run of games because it's not one of the big six? Yeah, we just perform the best against the big
no,
six.
but we the first team that played this Nottingham Forest at home under a new manager. Eh? It's our manager Bongs and what other stadium was rolling this morning? That excuses about just saying. You might see next week they beat somebody else and we go say something else. But I just say that sometimes how it goes. I'm not making excuses there. We dropped 2 points. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah,
but
is he
when you look
run
at
at
it,
teams now? Is he run at teams that coming up that Nah. Though is Manchester United that we can't take any team for granted.
No, I agree, but
as fans you can't even set up yourself like that.
No, I agree, but looking at the chances we just have and thing, we supposed to, once we finish it, we supposed to be in a good position.
I'm not having that optimism, but all right.
I hear you. We have Arun Ramdeen on the inside. Thanks for joining, man. Good night to you. Guys, don't forget to like and share the pod so we can get more people in on the content, right? YouTube and Facebook. So, I mean, I think Kristen had touched on it, right? And, there's this saying, you never get too high and then you never get too low. So when things going good, you don't want to go all in, but I mean, all in all United, right? But then you don't want to, be too down on stuff like what happened today. But my question is, do you all think that a result was a fair, the draw, was a fair result based on how you saw the game? Was it a fair result? Share the spoils, let it go, and or we should have win, or we should have lost. How let's saw the game in that regard. JP?
Okay, go ahead, JP.
It was a kind of mixed bag from myself because in the first half, when I was messaging Reem, I was impressed with some of the football I was seeing. Like I was really impressed with how we were moving the ball around and like controlling the game. But then in the second half, we get out football by a Sean Dyche team. And I find that really embarrassing because Sean Dyche is not no big footballing manager. He's a more kind of coming and he's the new. I think Sean Dyche is the new Big Sam. When you need a team rescued, Sean Shizimani is bringing to just rescue that team because he will come and do the basics right. But then for us was outplaying us in football today at a point in the second half. So I don't know,
No, but
in a sense,
that
in a
midfielder,
sense,
Elliot Anderson, he had a good showing today against us.
he's
If
a
this
very
was
good
his
midfielder.
audition, he did well.
He's a very good midfielder, but I to me I would say the draw kind of fair, but we should have edged it just a little bit. So I would say just by a little bit, I think we deserve it a little more than.
Yeah. Nico?
Based on history, recent history, I think was a point gained. I think United.
But we're not going on recent history. We're going on the game not played today.
No,
You know?
it's some of the same players. So I have to go on recent history, right? Yeah, most of the same players. We especially last season we struggled away from home. We couldn't win a game away from home. What's less even home too. And I felt the energy from Forest today, and I think last season we'd have lost this game. Honestly, I think we'd have lost this game last season. I think that 5 minutes of madness, I think we recovered well. As Christian would have said, we recovered well enough as we could have won. But still, based on history, based on I think there's also a growth, a little bit more resilience in the team. I think we gained that point. I think we gained that point.
Yeah. All right. So I want to go into team sheets, right? So Christian, you could start off, thoughts on the team sheet, and it could also include. I can't remember if I'd asked you, a point gain or 2 points lost.
No, a draw was a fair result, but it's 2 points drop for us because we had chances to win the game. Even like when it was 0-0 when Memo sent that ball for Sesko, if he had taken down that ball, that would be our next goal. And he had 1 or 2 chances. As I say, we had the better chances, and we could have won the game. It's just sometimes that doesn't be a day, but in terms of the team sheet, he went back with the same team. This is the first time I see he actually used back the same 11 consecutively because he never do that before. So I was probably expecting that, but I think I might have played Mount instead of Cunha. But Cunha in form. But my reason is just that Cunha, he is better against the teams that come and attack. But a low block team, you need to play quick, and sometimes he takes too long on the ball. Like he would dribble too much and stuff like that when you just need to. Because a low block team, when you catch them open, it's to hit them on the counter quick now. Because when they go back into the formation and the position, and it'll be hard to score. So that might have been my only switch. But I think the starting 11 was good.
All right. JP, I see your facial reaction to something Christian said. Jump in now.
Because I didn't see that when he started enough.
No, but who else you gonna play?
What do you mean? Boy, listen, Dalo.
Dalo was the reason the goal scored. I show him that second goal score, the ball fall and Dalo watching the ball bounce. And when he see the Forest player going ahead, then he looked to react. But as I said, right. Who else he played Dogo?
Listen, it's 6 or what is he saying? 6 or 1 half a dozen or the other. At this point in time with them, right? But the thing is, Dalo is being trusted no matter what in his team, and the both goals, I was telling Reem before they come on, both goals came basically as a result of Dalo because they exploited that side because they realized what was going on in the first half. Dalo get kept sleeping about 3-4 times in it.
Exactly. No, it had a time too. Yeah, but it had a time too. The man behind him and he pushing forward to get the man on side, and he even watching the line, and then the man was clear on side.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. So I don't understand how you was happy otherwise seeing Dallo in the team, right?
No, but who else you gonna pick? No, but let me be real. Who else you gonna pick? Because when Dogo play, it's Miss Dallo, and when Dallo play, it's Miss Dogo.
We have
I don't miss Dallo.
Maswari.
I don't miss Dallo. I promise you that.
And
No,
then
it had the last 2 games that Dogo come on, and Dogo make me.
Come to Maswari.
No, but I think Maswari, I don't know if he fully fit or what, but if he fully fit, he had to start. But he didn't play. He come back from injury and he didn't play, so.
No, better you start with Dogo and rotate with Maswari because what I'm saying, if Dallo not making sense of it. And we know this. Dallo being forced into this left wing back position since Amarim coming here. He keep trying to find a way to keep Dallo in this team, and it's not working out.
No, but we need a new left wing back any January window or any summer because none of them fellas they can really play that position. Because if you look that way, we click any team.
I agree with that, but in terms of the starting 11, otherwise, I think modestly team I was good with that because them other fellas to me was playing good. Yeah, other than Dallo, Dallo was the one I look at in the team and it's like, the way, why I just feel like Maswari too intelligent to be strong on the bench. That's my problem. So if you had a forcer player in the team, at least let it be Maswari a forcer into the team because of his intelligence.
No, but I agree with that. But he was injured and then he came back and they started he come on and set up the goal where I think it was Burnley we scored and then they started and the next year he went back out injured. So sometimes you can't rush them fellas. We got to be thinking alright, yeah, he ain't probably fully fit.
Then don't be on the bench. Then have Diego Leon on the bench or some
Malacia.
on the bench or
Malacia.
something.
But that's true.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the thing about it too is the level of experience that Dallo supposed to have and supposed to show every game. You know, you have the faith and the trust of the manager by virtue of all their nationality, right? But I still see Dallo as a senior player in the team. Dallo has a lot of experience, and I don't see him using that experience to justify his selection. You know, we know the team need a left wing back. We know Dogu not ready, right? But the manager still trusts you. Let's see you using the experience, that defensive awareness, that positional awareness, your touch, your decision making. Dallo always dropping asleep. Whether you play Dallo on the right, you play him on the left, Dallo always dropping asleep.
Yeah.
He always have a mistake in him.
He always have a mistake.
And that is the thing, that is some of the players always have a mistake in them. If it's not Dallo, it's Onana, it was been there. It's that one mistake that's costing him.
But more than that, I find it have certain players in the team allowed to make mistakes after mistakes after mistakes, and you don't see them paying the price in terms of losing the place in the team. You understand? For instance, if they don't start, you know for sure they're coming on at some point. And that for me, this do my head in. But Nicole, I'm here in team selections.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised with the team sheet. I was expecting that team sheet, right? And we spoke about it before. Due to the nationality, possibly if it's that or not. But I knew that was the lineup. That would have been the lineup. I was surprised when Christian would have alluded to Mount starting because of the low block. I think Cunha to me would be a better low block player than Mount, you know. But otherwise, I think was to be a straightforward lineup. I wasn't expecting anything different. Yeah, is it really?
No, but let's saw some amount performance this season. I find like plenty time he fit some good balls through and he played the ball quickly. I mean, Cunha and Mount knocking good. Cunha and Bruno knocking good too. But I'm saying, Mount more. He would play much more direct. He just play faster now, like against the low block. Oh, that's my take.
Yeah, no problem with your.
But Christian, you're sure he just play faster, he just play less selfish, or he just try to take less. No, let me correct that. You're sure he does play better, or he just play less? He's less
of a maverick. Yeah, you just have a
the type that
Maverick.
want to take
yeah.
responsibility.
Yeah,
and
no,
to do
that's
things.
my point. As in, I like Cunha, but sometimes he's frustrated because like sometimes he will get the ball in the back and have a pass and he want to turn on him man and shield off, and sometimes all that's not necessary now.
But you don't want to
Nobody
take it away
see-
from him too.
No, but
Huh?
and not only that too, Nico. The thing about it is sometimes when we try to force the ball forward, when we don't have enough support going forward, we could get a turnover, we will put ourselves under pressure. So sometimes when you hold onto the ball, I don't always agree with it, but understand sometimes when you hold onto the ball, it's to take pressure off the team because sometimes that turnover is happening and we just always find ourselves back having to defend.
No, that was against Liverpool. I think it was necessary, but like it had some. It wasn't this game. I think it was last game. He was in we half close to our box, and Shaw was right in next to him, and he turned in on him, and then he lost the ball, and then they had a chance there. So it's like sometimes that just frustrates me. But if it's one player who could hold up the ball and move with it, it is Cunha. But I think my point, when you say Reem is correct, he is play more selfish. Mount is play less selfish. So it would seem it would look better sometimes when Mount play.
All right. Let me just get some comments real quick here, guys. Simeon on the inside, good night, buddy. Thanks for joining. He's saying warning lights blinking today. Right? Jody on the inside, blessed night to you, buddy. Thanks for joining. He's saying 1 point gain based on our season thus far. Right? So I think you agree with Nico. Right? Simeon saying here, JP writes, is a Daesh team was playing fluid against us. Ahmad saved the day. All right, and Jody saying here as well, Crystal, you trying to squeeze Mount in the team, just like how Amram squeezing down in the team.
Now, I didn't think Mount could have come on today. I didn't think Mount could have come on today.
Crystal, we had to check your passport, see if you're British, you know?
Nah.
The reason why Amram forcing Dallas is because of that passport thing. So I had to check your passport. You're sure that's true, right?
Nah. Okay, Island Man also always bash Mount. I was gonna say that's 60 million, but from this season, whenever he play, I had one game he didn't look that good, but most of the time when he play, he looked good. Like he made the correct passes and he play like team wise. I find he play okay.
He's safe.
And I'm saying Cunha, not the start. I'm just thinking.
Mount is a safe player and he gives safe performances. Mount do nothing to make me say wow. You know?
Yeah.
But
he should start over Cunha in any way.
Yeah.
No, but what the Arsenal game, I think that was all we lost that game. That was our best performance, right? And the game and next game too, he had played really good, and I find he was one of our best players in those games that he played.
But I still have nothing memorable that I could think of that Mount do in the game. Whereas I sit down here and I seen Cunha running through, I seen Cunha holding the ball, I seen Cunha holding up the play, winning fouls in crucial areas. All that I visualizing, but for Mount, I can't think of anything.
No, but okay, sometimes as we look at that, right?
I don't understand what I'm saying. I feel like that chalk and cheese they comparing with Mount and Cunha.
No, I'm not comparing them, and I say like obviously Cunha is better, but like sometimes a player there's just certain teams he does better for the team.
I understand what you mean. Like when you need a safe player, but I don't think it should never be
like the Liverpool game was a good decision to play, my friend.
Yeah.
But
you complimentary whenever. He ain't starting no game for me. Whoever, right? So thoughts on the game, fellas, because I think JP you sum it up well, right? And I have a little issue with our manager and his game plans, right? It seems as though although correct me if I'm wrong, correct me if I see it differently, but it seems as though Amram have a plan A and he's sticking with our plan A. Or the thing could be going, the ship could be sinking and Amram not going to change, right? Because I just see enough games I've seen where managers figuring out or learning us and making adjustments. You see it in so many games. I can remember the Sunderland game when they take off, was it Minter? No, not Minter.
No.
Minter is
who he used to play for Brighton, but he playing for Sunderland now?
Adingra.
Adingra. Take off
Yeah,
Adingra, keep on a defender because that manager realized what was going on. And Adingra it wasn't helping us. And I saw today, even with Sean Dyche, he noticed that our left side was the weak link. He realized that was the weak link. That is one. Two, he realized once we play the ball through the middle of the park, stop going long, play it on the floor and play through the middle, and you're beating Casemiro and Bruno. And I found that too much times, especially in the second half, I see in people like Morgan Gibbs-White, the guy who's Hudson-Odoi. Them fellas getting too much free space in the middle of the park and just running through the midfield.
And isolating Ahmad because you see that Ahmad was small.
And I'm not seeing where
short to the aerial ball. So I was seeing the thinking behind the method behind what I was doing now, what I was trying. I was seeing it. Was my guess.
And I'm trying to figure out, well, in the game, why it is, like in a game like today, the manager gave me the impression that he was comfortable with a draw. You understand? Because I was not seeing where he wanted to win and he was going for the win. I don't know if you all heard him after the game where he was saying sometimes we just think bringing on attacking players is a positive behavior seat like that. And I'm trying to like what?
So what about the game? What game it was this season when he had all the attackers on the field and Mount was playing left wing back and all kind of foolishness? How come in that game he tried? He forget when he do that?
No, but he tried and it didn't work.
No, but because he do it stupidly in that game.
Now when he turn on all and then everybody can't play on top. In the
game today, it called for something different. As you rightly say, Christian, this is our low block we were playing against. Now when you're playing against our low block, you need ballers. You need men who could unlock and play a true ball. You need men who could carry the ball through players and pick a pass. And who we have on the team that could do that? You have Kobe on the bench, and you have Zirkzee on the bench as the players who could do that. And
Mount could do that too. Mount could do that too.
You're real betting for Monk, but Christian, stop.
I tell you, Christian passport.
I feel I watch game this season. No, I feel I watch game this season.
I never seen
Monk game.
Monk game is to hustle.
High press and get on the end of things and make something happen.
Wait, first of all, Mount have more experience than them two fellas they call it and have way more goals than them for Chelsea and then playing it. Mount finished season he premiered 15 goals and thing. So that talk all the talking is but I am telling you if I'm watching whenever Mount play this season he play well.
Christian, when last you see that with Mount?
Well, this season you're seeing it. This season you're seeing it. The games he play well.
No, was seeing it. Because I see a glimmer alone of the Mount that was at Chelsea with us this season. Just a glimmer. I'm not even getting carried away to think that he getting close to the Chelsea Mount yet. So up to now, we have not seen Chelsea Mount play for Manchester United. This season, you're seeing little things, but not enough for me to feel like Mount could come and unlock the low block of this
But all you see that the main one, Zirkzee? All you saw that the main one, Zirkzee?
But not
never. I see countless games where Meno come on and we literally went worse than these people who came off. And that is that fact.
Let me just say something, right? Kristen, and this one might be for you as well. I want to observe the games that Amorim does want to play mounted, not in the games where it have a team sitting back. It's more in a team where we want to press them and win the ball high. Mount there because Mount relentless. He have that energy. He is an intelligent player. Don't get us wrong, right? But when a team sitting back deep and they want to unlock a team, you need a little more guile, right? And I don't know I know last season was a kind of black spot for plenty of the fans, right? But it had certain things that we saw last season in terms of the ability of certain players that would be better suited to unlock a stubborn defense, right? Sometimes it's just those little flicks, those little 1-2s, that ability to hold the ball in tight spaces. Those are the qualities that we see in the likes of Kobe and Xerxes and Bumo has it, Ahmad has it. Those are the players that will give you more of a chance because of those qualities to break down a low block. That is what we're saying, you know? Right? Anyway, back to the game, guys. Back to the game. So thoughts on the game. Let me go through. I share my thoughts about how we saw where managers figuring out our game plan, adjusting their tactics to try to get the better of us, and not seeing where Amorim, he have like a plan B or a plan C. I don't know if you all see the same thing. I don't know if you all see it differently. Go through thoughts on the game.
Yeah, so I kind of want to touch on I guess how I was trying to see it from the manager's point of view, right? I was trying to make sense of the madness, right? So last week we were leading 3-0, right? And he said, all right, I'm gonna bring on players who need game time, and we could have lost or draw that game last week, right? So I was thinking if in his head he was thinking that, hey, next thing I make these changes,
and that happened,
and we lost.
Exactly.
No, I don't know. I was trying to think in terms of that's how the manager thinking.
I could respond to that.
Because just now wait, because we had these players on the bench. Maybe 80th minute we reach maybe not up to the pace of the game, and in his mind he'd be thinking that Forest running right now and bringing on these players from what we saw last week. They maybe had their meeting after the game, their post-mortem of the game, and so you know what, I think we dodged a bullet through the amount of changes we made last week. Let me do that this week. I don't know, I'm just saying, maybe you'll say that you have enough attacking players on the field to win the game, and bringing on players could have changed the momentum of the game. So I was trying to see the method in the madness, because I myself was saying, all right, hopefully let me see a Kobe, or let me see a Xerxes at least, because Sesko wasn't given nothing. Sesko confidence, like, it went down after in the first half when he was played in, and his touch was terrible today. And I think his confidence took a hit. So to me, in that case, I was expecting that, all right, let me bring on Xerxes, because it's not like Sesko was giving you anything in that last 10, 15 minutes to say, all right, Sesko have a goal in him. Sesko's a threat. Let me keep confidence in Sesko, but he wasn't getting anything. So to me, that is where I think he should have made a change, at least if bringing on Xerxes for Sesko. But I was also trying to see, maybe if he was thinking like that. And if he was thinking like that, then to me, it's a bit of a cowardice posture, right? Because you have these quality players on the bench, and you should trust your players. And when you put trust in your players, they might come on and do something that you didn't even expect, right? Because Xerxes is an international player. He's a quality player. Maybe not totally prem proven, but to me, a game like today would have done more bad than good for your bench players who have that quality that could come on, and we would have said could unlock defenses. I think today, their confidence would have taken a hit as well. And even if not making much changes, at least one change as Xerxes for Sesko, I think he could have tried that.
Let me just add something to that, right?
Yeah.
Now, if anybody had to be blamed for not wanting to trust your subs because you feel the pace of the game might be too much for them and they're lacking game minutes, then it had to be the manager, because he has been the one managing the squad from match day 1 to match day 9 or 10 or wherever we are right now. And when you look at the substitutions Amorim has been making game after game, then we defenders supposed to be the most fit and ready players on in the squad, because they are always the ones rotated. He talked in this press conference before the game about wanting to rotate his squad, but you have opportunities to rotate your squad and you're not making the right decisions. Let me go back to last week against Brighton, and a lot of people saying, "Oh, the subs didn't impact the game." Listen, players, two things, right? If a player not playing regularly, then they'll definitely lack that match sharpness. So when you bring them on, you can't expect them to play like a player who playing regular. Let me be real. The second thing is this: certain substitutions when you make it had to be tactically intelligent as well. And I mentioned it in the last pod, taking off Ahmad last week, right? You gave the impetus back to the Brighton defender, Kalioglu, whoever his name is, to go forward. When Amara and Bumo was there, he was sitting back because he couldn't move forward because he had to deal with them, Bumo and Amar. You go on and you take off Amar to put your boy Dalo on the right hand side. Kalioglu look back and say, well, hey, I don't have nothing to worry about again because don't go and cover Mbumo, so I can afford to push up more because Dalo not going to press. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you do that now, you take off an attacking player and you have one of their defensive players attacking us. So there's that extra body attacking us. It has so much levels to this that I don't know if I don't know if I'm able to see this, but you guys want to take off Ahmad because, well, your bought Dogu get minutes and you ain't taking off Dalo, right? The next thing, Casemiro was there, right? Casemiro was doing what he had to do. Casemiro was not a yellow. It's 1 game a week. Why are you taking off Casemiro for, right? Why Bruno is the one that always had to be playing full 90? We already leading the game. You're taking off the wrong players and it throwing the team because Casemiro was the one giving us that defensive, kind of setup. He was maintaining that level of control in the middle. He was dictating the place. Right now, Casemiro is one of the best players performing for us right now. We playing 1 game a week. Why you take off Casemiro? Take off Bruno. And then the point I'm making earlier. And then we come in and saying, Dogu come on, Xerxes come on, Kobe come on, and they didn't do nothing. But you put them in a situation for them to fail. And that is my problem with the substitution. So now you're coming this week and you're sitting on there and saying, well, what happened last week? I don't want to risk it this week. That is one, that is cowardice. And 2, that is your fault. Because you're not putting your players in positions or in situations to make them thrive. It's like you just say, well, okay, the game 1, go on. And we had to just figure it out there without proper instructions and a proper structure for me to succeed. So
yeah, so that was saying. So even if you're not changing 3 players, you can change 1. So that 1 player would have gotten time because the other players up to speed, and that 1 player would have gotten time to get into the game. And I think Zixi today should have been that player because Sesko wasn't giving us nothing.
I don't know if JP, if you want to comment on this before we.
Yeah, because I how long I was playing for Zixi in this game, and that's my here was the concerning thing with Amram, right? Because last week I was kind of feeling a little better about the team and thinking like he learned something. I seen some like he adapted because you saw how the defenders were tracking runners into midfield and they were kind of creating extra bodies in midfield with some of the defenders knowing when to step up and they were getting it right. So today, when I saw these spaces in the midfield, I was wondering, okay, how come we're not reacting to this today? When I saw the left side, what was happening on the left side, I was like, all right, how come I'm not reacting to this today? When I see Sesko having a stinker today, dog touch, not watch now. I think Sesko didn't touch that ball in the second half till must about 70 something minutes in it. Because I wasn't seeing him, I wasn't hearing his name calling. Yeah. And on top of that, upsetting me with this Xerxes situation. Xerxes make a mistake on the defensive side of his game last week. And I hear people talking as if Xerxes didn't do nothing when he come on. Xerxes win every ball in the air that came to him. And not just win the ball, he win the ball and went up to one of our players. Xerxes take down the ball on his chest at one point in that game. Xerxes was linking play. He was coming deep and collecting the ball and running forward. Look, when he'd slip in the box, if he'd get up and collect that, something would have happened with it. So to me, as much as Xerxes wasn't getting minutes, when he came on last week, I find he was very impactful. I remember telling him after the game, and I vex I couldn't be on the pod last week to talk about it. I remember telling him after the game how nothing against Sesko, but I'm not seeing what Sesko doing so much greater than what Xerxes could do in his team. And I feel like Xerxes deserve more of a chance. And I've been real honest with you. I am all for Xerxes leaving his club in January, at least on a loan. We cannot fair to players like that today.
Yeah.
And when you consider we have AFCON coming up, we're gonna lose Mazwari, Ahmad, and Mbumo. And you're not trying to blood men into the team properly. Kobe is a man could play in the 10. Maybe take off Mbumo sometimes and let Kobe run in the 10. Because who gonna play there when AFCON come? We're gonna push Bruno. And then who gonna play next to Casemiro? So these are the things we'll start to do now. So I don't want to hear no excuse about this one game a week is one game. When AFCON come, if somebody get injured, you still have to rotate the team. You can't want to play with a starting 11. That is what Eric Ten Hag was doing earlier. And when one man get injured, the whole team fall apart. So I feeling like, honestly, I feel like I seen a little repeater Ten Hag here because he feeling confident in a certain group of players and he don't want to deviate from that. So what will happen if we get injury? This is what I keep saying with managers. I want to see you being able to adapt and do things differently. Don't adapt 1 week and then come in next week and then do like if you will are taking off Euro today, put up on Masbury but trying to win the game. What are you really doing? What was the point in that substitution? So and I find this very media in terms of United fans or even United-based journalists, there's lapse. Because that is the first question I ask Amarim. What is be thinking when you take off a defender and sub in a next defender when you're trying to win a game? What is the point in it? Because it wasn't Maguire today. It wasn't Maguire first to go long and for him to win ball in the box. It was Maswari. So what was the point in that?
Yeah, and it's something that has happened every game. Is like you could predict a defensive substitution every single game.
It must happen.
You know, and even early in the season, you're losing. You need a goal. You bring on a defender, right? I just don't get it. Look, I mentioned to you all today. You know how much defenders we had in the match squad? 8. We had 8 defenders in the match squad today. All the fellas make sense. Make it make sense. How we could have 8 defenders? What's going on? Anyway, Simeon on the inside. What's up, bro?
No, I mean, I come in late. I mean, but you guys hitting all the nails on the head. I mean, I really do have too much to add. I mean, we're talking about, Xerxes, and Menu. I mean, look at Ugarte. I mean, he hasn't lit the world on fire, but like, you mind playing what you mind can't get a sweat. And you see how open the midfield was, I worry, like JP said, I worry about this team and where it headed, especially in the next few months when, I mean, we have cup games coming up, and some of these guys, I mean, ain't really gonna have no kind of match sharpness or nothing. I know we have one game a week, but when the team ain't clicking, when the team ain't, when it get outplayed by a team like Nottingham Forest, coached by Sean Dodge, I mean that's a problem. And for you to watch this team struggle and not bring on, have a plan B, or your plan B be Maguire like it was, a few weeks ago, that is a problem. If you have a man like Xerxes on your bench and you don't have you can't call audible, and have a little, twitch to your system to where Xerxes come in and do a thing, and you can't pull Sesko, who ain't, how I was worried about last show, I was worried about him, and now I'm even more worried about him. The point of having a coach, bringing a top coach, is for these situations to see what's going wrong and fix it mid-game. And we ain't seeing that. We're seeing more defenders coming on. And I see the warning lights up blinking because, like JP said, we saw this before with, other coaches, and every game we have these players like, like Mbumo and Cunha who could turn the game around, but, even Ahmad. But you can't just have that. We can't just have wait for Cunha to do a madness, or Boom to do a madness. Forest man up this game. Forest, man up, and they say, hey, we go handle them fellas, and we had no other kind of tactic to throw at them to say, hey, we go show you something else. That goal Ahmad score, that was that but Amarim should be glad. Because and go figure, the one game he don't take Ahmad off is the one game, he show Ahmad show what he could do when leaving more. So I worry about this team. I can't worry about Amarim because he ain't worried about winning games. So the warning lights blinking. I always thought we were a top 10 team maybe, but we can't just have Mbumo and Cunha try and go off every game to win games. We see today that ain't gonna work.
Yeah. Kristen, I want to get your thoughts on the managers in-game management.
It was first of all, right, from following the team on X and thing. When you look at training, right, Sesko, all the videos that we've seen is Dalo and them putting in balls in the box and Sesko finishing it. When you see he finishing like nearly everything. And then when it come into the game, these fellas not even crossing the ball. They're not putting in a ball, they're not. So sometimes the manager probably thinking if we bring on Zirkzee, it'll be the same thing. He might just be there and not get no ball. So, but I think he could make more attacking substitutions. I agree with that. But at the end of the day, he is the one who's seen the players making the decisions. It's his one to make. He had to live and die by that.
I think I saw somebody on the videos that you're talking about, Kristen, with the what they were doing in training with the balls inside. My only question to that is whether those things there's other element of a real game simulation. Because sometimes when you're putting the ball in the box in training, it's because Sesko here and next player behind him. So it's whoever it get to now. So if it pass the front striker, the second one go get it and they go shoot it in a goal, right? But then what about the opposition defenders coming into the play? Because I wouldn't just blindly put a ball in a box if I see my attacker outnumbered. It had to have some level of
No, but Sesko
sense in it.
is 6'5" and he have good jumping abilities and things. I just say, right? Plenty time Dalo and them just go down the line and they could put in a cross and just pass it back. And one of the things Sesko is great at is his headers. He does literally jump very high and he does score. Most of his goals in the Bundesliga was headers, and where he was towering over defenders and scoring. So that's my take. As in, you're seeing these men crossing ball, like they literally passing it for Dalo to run on to cross the ball, and then in the game when he get the ball, he passing it back. But another thing I noticed too from watching the game is Ahmad and Dial and Mumo have this good connection that when Ahmad gets the ball, Mumo just pull wide, and sometimes when Mbemo get the ball, Dalo just pull wide. And you just see when they do that, they actually make space and they just hit the ball forward and they just go on and have space to put in a ball, right? But on the left hand side, we don't have that because Cunha tends to go in more inwards into the number 10 position, and Dalo just pull wide, and that end up making Bruno have to push higher up. And when Bruno does get the ball and he passes to Cunha, passes to Dalo, and they lost. Casemiro is alone in that midfield, and that was happening today. Plenty. But on the on the right hand side, you don't see that because Dalo and Mbemo linking good. They don't need that. They don't need Casemiro to push high to make that run now.
Yeah. So I want to just move on a little bit, right? And we saw such a more, all right, we saw such a good all around performance against Brighton last week, and then we came today, and it was almost a game of two halves. So Simeon, I want to start with you. What, from your estimation, was the difference between last week versus Brighton and today?
Well, I think one thing is we went home. I think the energy at Forest brought, especially in the the start of the second half, was key. I think the kind of energy they're bringing, the kind of players they had was, I thought was really matched up well with our players. Um, I felt the tactics they had was right on as far as not if a limiting, containing, and the Mbumu and Ahmad link. And I think they knew where we were going with the ball. I mean, the inability to go, central in our, attacking phase was clear. I think they just matched up well with the guys in the wing. I mean, our play today, I just felt like we didn't adapt. I mean, going back to the same old thing, we didn't adapt to what was given and what was being shown. I felt like, there was no, as you said, no plan B. We tried, the long ball couldn't work there. We just didn't adapt well to anything.
Yeah. Nicole?
I still struggling with our midfield, especially in the second half of games. I think in the second half of the games the energy in the midfield it just drop off, you know, um, in a big way, right? It has drop off, and I don't think we have the physicality in the midfield to compete over 90 minutes. I think over 45 minutes, 50 minutes. I think we do well, but I think after that, I don't think we had the physicality in the midfield, especially as Simeon would have said today, when when teams bring that energy and when teams smell blood and when teams, because second half you felt that Sean, I felt that hey, you need to be a little more physical with these United players. And they got more physical with us. And when they got more physical with us, the game got harder for us. So I think we still have, we have, in fact, we definitely know we have issues in the midfield, and I think that will be our downfall this season if we do strengthen our midfield, and not just strengthen it with physicality, but also quality as well. Because we saw last week against Brighton, what went on with Bruno. Bruno couldn't hold the ball to save his life. The moment he got the ball, he was losing it. And today again, I felt like we started to lose in the midfield, and the ball is just passing through that midfield. And again, because even the ball that was a nice ball across, that I think was the first goal. I mean, a nice cutter, let's call it, across the field, and that just went to the whole midfield. Nobody, and to me, what I mean, if we was maintaining the discipline in terms of positioning from the first half, we may have been able to cut out these things. So I think for me, I think that is where we losing it. I think we losing it in the midfield in the second half of games, and we had to find a way to show up that midfield. Let me say after 55, 60 minutes going down the road.
Yeah. Sometimes you feel as though the way how we play is like we have to just outscore teams, like we
Yeah,
do against
yeah,
Brighton. When we on top, as Crystal is always lament, we just take we chances. So if we could be that at that level of being unrealistically clinical, all right?
yeah,
We just score 7 goals in the first half, and then wherever happens second half, we know we might be, at a place where we're unassailable, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
But JP, go through.
Yeah, I think so. So I think I mentioned earlier, from what I saw in the Brighton game, where we had the defenders kind of tracking men and filling gaps in the midfield. and I didn't see any of that happening today. So the problem of the porous midfield that show up again today, and to me that's a problem that your midfield is your most important part of the team. You know, games won and lost in midfield, like that you all at it. So if we're not fixing that problem, I mean, Casemiro has been great this season, but is next to Casemiro, the discipline that needed from Bruno to remain there again. So this were to me the tweaks in what Amram trying to do had to come in. If you're trying to fit in the players that one day, you had to tweak the setup to make it make sense. Because how it is right now, it's not making sense. So if nobody's stepping into that midfield to partner Casemiro when Bruno go forward, then we will continue to have problems. And today I saw moments where Casemiro was playing further up than Bruno. And that is something I don't want to see. I don't mind when Casemiro join in the attack when he come in late, when he make the late runs. But you see when the attack starts and he further than Bruno, that is the recipe for problems. Because he don't have the legs to recover, and Bruno don't have the defensive nature in him to provide that steal in the middle when you need it. So that is little things that I noticed from this game today, that midfield. I watch the Chelsea Tottenham game after, and you're watching a player like Caicedo and what he could do in our midfield. That man is be everywhere. He covering everything, and we don't have a player like that. If we had a player like that, then sure, free reign for men.
Yeah.
Because Caicedo doing like what Kante was doing for Chelsea. The man is playing everywhere and cleaning it up and confident on the ball. They could pass the ball to him anywhere, and he will collect it under pressure and do something with it. We don't have that in our midfield. So the plan have to change for our midfield. It cannot be what it is right now.
Yeah. Let me just get these two comments real quick, right? So Jody, this was a while ago. Jody said Monk passed his prime, and I know when I was in Crystal went and he the little
He monked run.
yeah.
He monked.
Crody Meister, right? Thanks for joining. Saying here felt like a loss, and that clearance at the end stings a lot. All right. Kristen, I read a comment I pulled from X here, right? So I just wanted I want to give my thoughts on it, whether I agree with it and further, right? So United created next to nothing today from open play. We did create chaos on the corners, which ultimately got us our points. The 2 goals were from set pieces, right? But I think we saw many of the concerns we've been seeing previously with an Amorim team from open play. All right, I want to get your thoughts on that comment, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, and further.
Well, what do you mean we didn't create any chances from open play though? As in, we did have chances created. I disagree with that part, but I agree with with more of our chances really did came from set pieces.
No, we didn't create. We created next to nothing, so it gave room for the little one.
You muted room.
You muted, I don't hear you.
Yeah. Sorry, the comment said we created next to nothing, which leaves room for the little 1 or 2 that you made. But in general, the chances, the more clear-cut chances today, I didn't think anything came from open play. But go ahead.
No, but I had disagreed with that because it had plenty time Ahmad come in and he take one eye shot. He shoot it bad. The next one the keeper save it. It had Sesko had an opportunity where MM cross and he could have leave it for Bruno and he ended up taking a shot. And so I disagree, but we did create chances. I mean, but probably not as much as in previous games. But our best chances did come from corners. But when you look at it, that's how teams winning games right now, is from throw-ins and set pieces and so.
But with the last part of the comment here, I think we saw many of the concerns we've been seeing previously with an Amorim team from open play.
No, that,
Yeah,
that is true. One ball through the middle and we was open. And I did message you when the game was going on, and I tell you, Reem, that I take out Casemiro better to bring on Ugarte because he just run. You was literally seeing the ball going through the midfield, and Casemiro cannot catch them. Fellas, Casemiro do it very fast, and the ball is playing them. And I did message you and tell you half time that Ugarte had to come on for Casemiro because you were seeing how open it was, and this guy Anderson he's a very good player. He could move the ball good and he passed in pinpoint and he was running through our midfield.
yeah. Nico, so we want to look at some positive takeaways from today. You know, have any positive takeaways for you from the game today?
I think was the resilience of the team to come back and to win a point. You know, I think that definitely for me that is a plus. And for some reason, I didn't felt like we were going to lose the game. I think we had enough quality on the pitch not to lose, and I think that's gaining the point and even having the confidence at the end where we could have won the game. You know, when we scored that one goal to equalize, and you felt like we were still going for it and we could have gotten it. I think that resilience and that determination today was positive. I think Amar on the score sheet, he have been improving. He started the season a bit on the shaky side, but of recent we have seen his form improve, and that goal today, I guess would have kind of put the icing on the cake on his upturning form. So I think that was definitely another positive today, and the quality and the strike as well. I guess his overall play today, I think it was positive for me.
Yeah. Simeon?
Yeah, mute.
I mean, positive. I mean, the positive is we didn't lose. The game. First of all, that feeling started coming in. I mean, to be honest, they weren't playing well at the end. I don't think they were playing well at the end. They had fight, but it's one thing to have fight, but nothing to be look effective like it go and score. The ineffectiveness of Sesko in there, at the end of major players was really disappointing. We need more from him. I know he's not the first choice striker in the window, but he is supposed to be a big striker. We need more from him. I think I want to be the downer, but to see the machine that was Mbumo and Cunha rolling, and then to see it derail today was a big negative. I think you figured it for us what could take you. I mean, but it takes a team. I'm glad we got Casemiro has always been good offensively. It's good to see Ahmad. Like we keep going back to that goal. It's a really nice goal, but you can't pull that stuff out all the time. You have to have a way of scoring goals regularly. When a team look at what you do last week and kill that, you have to have something else in the window, and we don't have that. We have more defenders. We have how much defenders? 8 defenders to bring on. And then I see Mashwari come on. I say, boy, he kind of a very leadership team, but he come on, he does stupidness. I like that. I mean, he almost lost the ball and almost give him a goal. I mean, I like Mashwari, but like, why bring him on the situation? He wasn't ready for it. Who else to bring on? Mashwari and Dogu. I can see Dogu. I can see Dogu. Think Dalo wasn't doing anything, but he had nobody else on the team that you feel you could bring on to make a difference. That's troubling. I mean, what happened? If that is how you feel, you have to bring in. Yeah, like summer had to be part 1 transfer window, and January had to be part 2. Because you gotta move players out, you gotta bring more players in. That's all I gotta say, because you killing killing players' confidence, and you don't have more attacking players. We get rid of all the troublemakers, and we bring in 2 good players. We bring in Sesko, but we need more. And if they on your bench, you have to go get them, because this Premier League ain't for the weak sides who do have players on the bench. You need a bench. We need more.
Yeah.
If you don't like Menu, get me another midfielder. If you don't like Xerxes, get me another striker. We can't be playing this kind of this kind of team, for the rest, because like you see, every team good. You can't be relying on 2 players to score goals all the time. Nah.
No, but that's what I wanted to say, right? When the player who could get us a goal, right? On that bench today was Maguire, and Maguire didn't come on. And this is the point that going back to, he was probably seeing that there wasn't crossing the ball that much, and that's why because let me be honest, you would have sent on Maguire over Mazraoui if you really needed that goal, because Maguire, he did score a lot of clutch goals in the past few months. But
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He didn't even go to Maguire. So that's what I'm saying. He from his analysis of the game, he probably wasn't seeing these guys crossing the ball and thinking, well, that's not really making sense. Because that would have been
take off Sesko, right?
Huh?
Well, then take off Sesko, right? Because if you're saying, I mean, they're not crossing, and as you were saying before, Sesko good in the air, he could jump and all that, and they're not crossing, then you just take off Sesko and play somebody who good on the ground.
I agree. I agree with that, but that's saying that is why he didn't look at Maguire, he didn't look at Zixi. He probably had you understand,
If the manager, if the player's not crossing and the manager saying that, it's not the manager to tell them to cross.
No, but this is what I'm saying, because if you look at the training videos, I go say it to him, they literally pass they have the strikers in the box and they literally playing the ball for Darwin to cross.
Tristan, before you make any point, do not reference any training videos, because we see enough. We've been watching training videos for this team for the last 10 years. Men doing all kind of madness, and then, I mean, your point might be valid, but don't reference the training videos, because
no. But if we're not in training and the players not doing it on the field, who fault really that?
No, but what I was saying before, Tristan, is the training, because I saw it. So you don't said it to me, I saw it, right? But the point I'm making is, in training, that particular thing, if we're talking about the same thing, it's not representative of what is actually happening in games. Because when you look at the game situation, Sesko stood between Milinkovic and the other defender. What's his name again? The Brazilian. Murillo. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So when you play the ball inside, the likelihood of Sesko getting it is be hard. It could be hard in training. It's no defender. You know what I'm saying? So
no, I understand that point.
I do expect, because we're doing training, for men to just be swinging idle balls inside the box just because, well, that's what we're doing in training. It had to have some kind of logic behind it. After Sesko making the run, after Sesko, at least give me the eye to know, well, okay, if I put it in this space, he'll get the NIT, or else we will just be getting them balls to head out and counter we. So it's about maintaining possession so that they don't get countered. You understand?
No, but I disagree with that, right? Because looking at the Premier League and thing, right? Plenty time last season, Salah put in a cross, right? And men hit the ball and it fall to Jota, and Jota just tap it in and thing. Mistakes just happen. If Forest could be looking, we have 3 defenders in the back, they better we have put a ball in, and they still got a header. Men still get the rebound and the score. So you can't be saying he there and you're not going to put the ball. That's craziness.
So one thing I want to say to that too, right? That we're not considering. We always given the defense an opportunity to set and be ready for a cross to come in, because on both sides we play any wrong-footed player on both sides. We have 2 left-footers on the right, and we have 2 right-footers on the left.
No, correct.
So nobody playing a ball out wide and then whipping it in one time. they always had a cutback to cross on the stronger foot. We're not getting somebody just hitting a one-time cross to catch the defenders off guard. Because from the time you see Mbumo or Ahmad cut back on the left, you could set yourself as a defender to know a cross might be coming. But if them fellas hit them, the element of surprise about sorts, because I was watching Neto today. Neto play with both feet normal. Sakadas play with both feet normal. You don't know which foot they're going to cross with.
That's a good point, but as I say,
start doing
any
that
training
now, it might make more sense. So that is a major thing that we're consider with this team where crossing is concerned. You're giving defenders time to set this up because they know the man at the chop back to play it on his strong foot.
It's at a play the play where Mbumo made the one-time cross and it fall on Sesko foot with the heavy touch. That was a one-time cross. The defender catch the defender off.
Right, and that because he was on the left side, he was on the left side.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. If we do that more in the game, and I honestly thought that was a pre-planned thing, but I think it just happened by chance.
No, that just happened. But what I'm saying in the training videos, Dalo on the left and Dalo crossing with the left foot and when in the game he cutting back and passing back the ball, and then certain times he get the ball free and he can cross the ball and he didn't.
But it's something that we've been talking. It's something that we've been talking about with our team and how our team is constructed. Those 2 10s, they are there to score goals, not necessarily assist. The assist for me, from what I understand, from what I see, they're assisting secondary, right? Because Mbumo, if you look at how Mbumo does play, he real strong on that cutting on his right, and he scored a lot of goals. So I get the feeling as though the primary job of Mbumo and Cunha is to get goals as opposed to primarily service the striker. This is why, and I want to make a point. I want to beat it up, but I want to make a point. This is why we needed a facilitator in the 9 rather than a striker in the box. Listen, anyway.
No, but they did say they leave the number 9 vacant. It had a reason they leave the number 9 vacant. I think they just went after Sesko because
we spent 71 million to leave number 9 vacant for next player to come. The Crystal, come on, man.
Nobody. That's what they're saying.
Nah.
Let me just get 2 comments real quick here and let me go to rapid, guys. Riyad on the inside, thanks for joining. He's saying here Mount ever had a prime unless he's a transformer. All right. The man did have a prime in Chelsea. He was good that couple of years, you know. He's saying here, what I saw today is a group of players who didn't listen to the manager, went into the match believing their own hype. Well, they're getting picked, right? And they're gonna get picked again next week, right? So who ultimately responsible, right? So guys, let me just say my positive was that I think, you know, of late we've been getting the rubber the green, right? Because Nico had mentioned that ball that went out. The ball that went out?
The ball was in and Dalo and Ahmad handled that ball. That was happening. I find
but then last week they robbed we a penalty and too.
We get rid of that one.
No, well, that was saying. So we gained some luck. We gained some luck. Yeah. So you know that my positive. It helped.
That guy who scored the goal. That guy who scored the goal, Yates. He fought Cunha twice in that first half, right? When we was breaking, he ain't got a card in it.
Yeah. But I still think we benefited from some of the calls.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. And I think that's a positive. We gained some because all the last season we wasn't getting none of them things. You know? Blatant penalty, men bleeding and referee balling. You know?
Yeah,
so,
even the Ahmad goal, did I find a reason to chop off that too.
Because they wanted to.
Yeah.
So that's my positive. Right? So guys, we're looking forward to Spurs. You know, any changes? How do I feel about Spurs? Spurs didn't win today. You know, but you know, that was another bogey team from last season. So hopefully, you know, we will be able to turn the tide. You know, Kristen, how do you feel about Spurs next week?
Well, I watched the game against Chelsea today. I didn't really find Spurs look good at all. This signing they make by Xavi Simon.
I guess
Yeah.
Forrest didn't look good against Bournemouth last week either. Eh? Anyway, go ahead.
No, but they didn't play home. No, that's it. But Xavi Simons, he ain't looking good, and I play plenty more for he, and that the kind of thing that he go come. When we play home or away?
Hey, them fellas just come with the best of United, boy.
That was it.
But they were saying Morgan Gibbs didn't score no goal he scored today.
They were saying.
That was his first goal.
I watching that game today, right? Vicario pull up some real good saves. I hope he don't come and do that at Old Trafford at all.
Vicario real top. He real top.
The man about 3 1-on-1 man saving now.
Yeah, this is
very good keeper.
So I hope them fellas are the shooting boots, but hoping for the best.
Yeah, Simeon.
Was it the last time I see? No, it wasn't the last time, but I remember Van de Ven running through with midfield,
yeah.
and nobody stopped him. Who there now go stop him? That's my question.
And
Nicole?
no, to me the thing is, so they would have beaten us in the Europa League final, right? So naturally you would think that we coming out with something to prove, but that it ain't gonna be so, right? For some reason, United will pull off them kind of thing, So I just hoping that them fellas have something to prove, and they come out and they beat Spurs. It's not gonna be an easy game in no way, and definitely I am not going to say, well, hey, United gonna walk over Spurs. I will just sit down and watch the game and see what happens.
I just hope we take chances. I find we just be throwing away plenty. We creating good chances to score and we just be throwing away. I think we need to do better in that format that we get.
Yeah, JP.
I just hoping for the best. Yes, I mean I continue to go into games with no expectation because I still don't know what version of this team will show up.
Yeah.
I'm not getting carried away with the run now we on right now. Because I know I go down and see that when they start the lineup and immediately get upset when I see that. So yeah, it's just to hope for the best because honestly I tell you, if it's up to me, I just start Zixi and Dog win that game. But I know that I'm gonna. So yeah.
I think from what I'm watching, Spurs defense a little shaky, yeah. So I feel if we really go at them, we could possibly get something. But again, I think we all echoing the same sentiments, being that you just don't know which United go show up, and we can start going expecting that we could come here next Saturday and be waxing. Talking in the moment now, in the moment that, we did well and the team perform and chemistry and understanding and all that kind of thing, But so let me see what's gonna happen next week. I think that's the last game before the November international break. So it'll be very, very, good to go into our next break on a high. I don't think we've lost any games during this block. Too bad that the fellow with the high here had to reset again. That rough, yes. That man must want haircut. That rough.
He said that man too high, but he said
yeah,
Yeah,
could have said 2 games.
Two.
Yeah.
Chances are that fellow might never get a haircut, Hey.
But it's 5 Premier League games or 5 games in total? I mean, when he played in Premier League, pick up now.
5 games. Because I remember when he was checking it on his page, it had the Europa League games that he was looking at as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, I think we at the end of the pod. I think Nico make a statement that I just want to echo before we wrap it. Last season, under these circumstances, I think we'd have lost. So it's a positive to know that we still had the fight, we still have the fight, or we have the fight to at least salvage something, because it would be a hard one to take a loss today. So I mean, ultimately we wanted to win, we wanted to continue the win streak, but I guess we go have to settle for the unbeaten run. And that's the positive that we could take from the result today. A lot still to be done in terms of performances, a lot still to be done in terms of in-game management, but we could only hope that the manager do what he's saying, because he keeps saying that it's not about favoritism, it's about merit. He keeps saying that he wants to rotate, but the action's saying otherwise. But let's see, long season still. We ain't reached January yet, so let's see what can happen. So JP, Nico, Simeon, and Kristen, thanks for jumping on. Those in the comments, we do appreciate all the comments, the likes and shares, everything. So guys, we could be here again next week to review the Spurs game, and that's one that I really want us to win, right? Because I can't handle Spurs again, So let's see what it goes. So have a good night, fellas, and see you on the next one.
Hey, good night, man.
Good night.